Welcome back to the Octave Leap Crypto Trading Series. It's hosted by myself, Dave, and my good friend Nico. And today we're here in part 4 of this series to talk about chart patterns. So stay tuned. All right, Nico, let's dive in here. Can you tell me why chart patterns are important for aspiring traders?
Hi, hello everyone. Yes, chart patterns are very, very important because we're going to base our trades. Either, doesn't really matter if you do swing trading, day trading, scalping, as we saw in the previous videos. It doesn't really matter what time frame you're using. There will be, you can apply, sorry, you can apply chart pattern, trading patterns in any time frame, and you're going to base your entries using specific rules based on those patterns. So you will have a look at, as we saw before, you might have some candlestick patterns that you will use to enter a trade, and then you will have the trading patterns, which are various candlestick put together in order to create a pattern that you can see on the charts. Okay, so you can combine those two patterns to have a very good signal to decide when you enter a trade.
And it also kind of a chart pattern affects the probabilities of a certain scenario of price playing out, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We can see that over time when we recognize a chart pattern. We're going to look at some. We are not going to look at all the patterns today because it would be a very long video. But we're going to focus on a couple of chart patterns and a couple of candlestick patterns. And yes, it gives you. We can see that over time. Most of the time when there is that kind of pattern, the same thing happens after. That's why we have a lot more probabilities to have a winning trade when we follow those rules. Yeah.
Right on. Okay, I'm excited. Let's dive in and take a
All
look at some
right.
of these chart patterns.
Let's have a look. Okay. Here we are. So on this image here, I just made a condense various chart patterns, and I put them into two categories. Okay, you've got trading patterns that will be for continuation, which means that the price will continue with the trend. Remember last videos when we talked about the trend, the price is going to carry on going up or going down. So those are continuation patterns here. And then you've got the reversal patterns. Okay, those are patterns that will tell you that the price is going to change direction. Okay, so you will have a reversal. You will have the trend is going to change from going up or down to the opposite. Okay, so here for today, we're going to just focus on the continuation pattern, which is called the flag pattern, okay, which can be bullish. When it is bullish, it's just continuation of an uptrend, this one here. And then bearish, which is the opposite. When it is a bearish flag pattern, it is going to be a continuation of a downtrend, okay? So you can create a screenshot of this image if you want to keep this image for you and use it while you are trading as a sort of cheat sheet next to you. And let's have a
Nice
look.
added little bonus there. Easter egg.
So let's have a look. For example, we recognize those flag pattern. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Are you with me on Bitcoin now? Okay, so for here, there is one that's very, very obvious. I'm going to show it here. So we've got one around there, okay? So if you look at that, you can see that this is definitely a bearish pattern because you have a downtrend. Then you've got this flag here, okay? So the flag like this one, okay? So that's a bearish flag pattern. And you've got continuation of downtrend straight after that. So this is how you recognize. The more you train, the more you try to recognize those patterns, the more it will be obvious when you see one. Okay. Here there is another one with a much steeper angle, for example, and that's on the other side. So that's much steeper angle, this one, okay? But here is a
Maybe
bullish
zoom in a little
flag.
bit on that one, just so we can see how similar it is to the actual pattern that you were showing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So here, you wanna, when you create your channel here, when you recognize that there is a flag, you want to basically be touching as many wicks and candles as possible, up and down. Okay. So
See, I
here
think
you've
this
got
might be
one, two,
confusing
three.
for noob guys because they might go, "Oh, look, there's a lower high that was put in there." But
Yes,
actually, if they realize that there's another pattern, then they see that's not a lower high. This is potentially bullish consolidation happening.
yeah. So the thing is, again, here we're on a daily time frame. Okay. So that flag here um, lasted for almost a month. Okay. So that was 25 days. All right. So almost a month here. So they can be quite long. And obviously, yes, at the beginning, you might not be able to recognize it. But then when you've got 1, 2, 3 hits, by that point, you should be able to see after a couple of weeks, you should be able to recognize that that's starting to form. Okay. Again, a trading pattern like this one is actually validated when we break out and we carry on with the trend. So this pattern wouldn't be validated until this happens here. Okay. Until this candle here. It wouldn't be validated until then. So this is
Sorry, it wouldn't be validated until the channel is broken, correct?
exactly, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Same applies for the other side when you go on the downtrend. Same thing. Okay, you've got 1, 2, 3, and now you've a false touch here, and here you validate that that was actually a flag pattern when we break down. Okay, so at the close at this candle, then it's a good signal to enter a short trade. Okay, close here. If I zoom in a bit more, when that candle closes here, you could start thinking about entering a short trade. And if you did, then yes, you have a very, very nice trade here. Same thing happens on the other side. Okay. That one would have been a bit more. I would have waited until this close here to enter. I wouldn't have entered this because that's a big week up and then come straight back down. So I would have waited
Right.
until
You
this
might not
candle.
know if that was a
Yeah.
scam wick, as we call it,
Yes.
right?
So that one was a bit more tricky to enter straight away. But after this candle here, then you can enter the trade and go for a long trade here. And again, that was a very beautiful, beautiful trade. After this flag pattern, you can bullish or bearish. Let's have a look at a reversal, pattern. Okay, so you've got let's have a look at the double top, double bottom. I'm gonna just talk about as well the triple top or triple bottom because they are exactly the same. The only difference is the double top or bottom will touch twice, the triple will touch 3 times. Okay, but that's pretty much
That's so easy. You can count that on one hand, really.
yes, exactly. So that's a very easy pattern, but that's a pattern that I use a lot, and we will see a bit later that then I can combine different patterns in order to enter trade, and I'm gonna switch between time frames to have a confirmation of a good entry. We're gonna see that in a minute, but the reversal, this reversal double top or triple top, double bottom, triple bottom is very, very useful and a very simple pattern to see. I mean, it's very easy to recognize, it's very easy to find. Okay. So let's have a look at, for example, on this Ethereum chart here. There are quite a lot of them that you can see straight away. Okay. This one, for example, in this zone here, this is very, very obvious. We can argue that it's a triple or a double. But to me, it looks more like a triple bottom, even almost a quadruple, because you've got a touch in this zone. So you can always draw your zones to have a better idea. Okay, so you could draw something like this, and here you see that there is one big touch here, another touch here, another touch here. So that's 3. Okay, 3 touch, and you see a clear reversal in the trend here. This one is very, very obvious if you compare again with this one there. It's literally the same drawing. Okay, so that's a very obvious one, and you see that we were in a big downtrend. Okay, from all the way up there. We hit 1, 2, 3, and then a reversal. Here, there is a lot of trading opportunities in this zone. Okay, because even if you think, oh, here I've got a double, it's just a double. Okay, just a double bottom here. Imagine you enter a trade at the close of this candle because you have a couple of green ones in a row there. So you're like, okay, reversal now. You enter a long position here. You could have, you could make a very, very good trade here. And basically you would be aiming for this zone here, which was the previous zone of activity, let's say.
I guess the question that would come up though is that if you looked at that before the pattern played out, you might think that it's a double bottom.
Yeah.
And then I guess though your stop loss wouldn't be triggered because you just have to wait a little bit longer, and then you'd have a very nice trade come into play. But I guess you don't know if it's going to be a double bottom or a triple bottom,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. Even if you think it's a double, okay. Imagine you here and you think it's a double bottom. You enter here. Here you have a bit of a fright because you're like, oh no, it's going back. But no, if you look at this, as soon as this candle closes here, uh, you can see that it's a good way up, and then it's a triple bottom, but doesn't matter because your stop loss was all the way down here at the end of this long week here. Okay.
Yeah.
If it was going down here and closing in this area, then you have a high chance that this pattern is not validated and that the trend is going to continue. Okay, because it
That
will.
might be when it goes in the red where you have to rescind the deposit on the Lamborghini, right?
Yes. I wouldn't put deposit on Lamborghini with a huge trade open at the same time, but
No.
everybody's different. But yeah, think about your risk management. Very, very important. Keep that in mind all the time. So the beauty with double or triple bottom is it's a very good pattern. And when you see a double, sometimes you can have a triple and doesn't matter because even if you enter on the double, you've got a high chance to still make wins on the triple bottom. Okay, because it's gonna follow. And obviously you look at the chart, and if here it closes under our previous low, then it's a bad sign. Then it means that the trend is continuing. Okay, simple.
What might be a cool double top to show would be Bitcoin last year, maybe on the weekly.
Yeah. So we could have a look at the weekly. So that one was very. So again, you see, it doesn't close exactly at the same place, but if you draw a zone, then it's fairly obvious. Okay, so you want to take basically that big wick up there, and you see if you take this wick in your zone, you see that here it closed pretty much at the top of this previous wick here, which was the previous high. And then we've got a big engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle. And if you're looking at a chart around here, you're starting to think, maybe, maybe that was the top, maybe. Okay, close of this one.
Yeah, it was very interesting because I know a lot of really smart traders at that time. I was in the other camp that Bitcoin was going to go higher, but a lot of other smart traders, they saw that signal flash and they said, I'm putting in a big short and I'm closing all my positions because we're going to winter, folks.
Yeah, and that was the very smart move. For me, I had my take profit at 71. Okay.
Oh no.
Because for me, 71 with different values, I was using too many indicators, too many things. I came back to a simple trading after that big mistake there. And so to me, 71 was the take profit, and yeah, missed it. But it's okay, it happens, and it's part of trading. We are going to combine trend continuation and a reversal pattern on a lower time frame. Okay, so bear with me, let's do it together. So here we are on our BNB chart. So I went back all the way to September 21, so pretty much a year ago. Okay, and we can see, if we look at what's happening, that here we have a high, and you see that we create a higher high than before. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Okay, then it goes back down. So that's, do you remember the previous video? If you don't, you'll have a link to the identifying trend video at the end of this video, so you can have a look at it. But here you can see that we have a pullback. Okay, this zone is a pullback, and then we will have a trend continuation. So as soon as we go above the previous high here, we can just put a line here just to remember here. Then here we have our next impulsive move. Okay, next impulsive move. So we break the previous high. And we will see a pullback. Boom. That's our pullback. So you see that we're coming back to our line here. So now, just instead of having a line, let's make a zone. Okay, so we can create a zone. So we will take it from the top of this wick here, which is the higher point. Okay, and we're going to go to the top of those candles, and we're going to create a zone. Right. So here, if you remember the video of the trend continuation, there is a high chance for this to create something like this: pullback, impulsive move up, pullback, impulsive move up. Okay, that's our high probability here, if you remember the trend continuation video. And what we will want to do is we will want to ride this trend up. So we want to enter a trade which is with the trend, so a long position, okay, because we believe the price is going to carry on going up, and that's just a pullback. And in order to find our entry in this zone, we are going to zoom in. So we're going to go down to the 4-hour time frame, okay? And we will be looking for a trading pattern, which is a double bottom, okay? On this trading pattern, we are going to look at a double bottom here, and we will add a candlestick pattern. Okay, so this candlestick pattern is the engulfing candle. Okay, the bullish one is basically when you have a red candlestick and you print a green candlestick after that, where the body is bigger than the previous candle. Okay, so it goes in the opposite direction and it's bigger than the previous candle. It works for bullish or bearish. Bearish is the opposite. The price goes down, and the body of that red candle is bigger than this green candle. Okay, so that's, for example, a candlestick pattern. So if you apply this for a trade here, let's have a look. We're going to look at a double bottom. Okay, so we touch here, we come out of the zone, we go back into the zone. Okay, and what we will look at now is very obvious. We come out of the zone, close out of the zone, and we print an engulfing candle right there. Okay, so right there, engulfing candle, double bottom, 1, 2. At the close of this candle, I will enter a long position, okay? Because to me, that's a signal that the trend is gonna continue, is gonna carry on, okay? And just to stay on the safe side of things, to me, the trend carries on going up as soon as we go higher than our previous high. Okay, so I'm just going to put, I just want to look at this, basically. And then if I see a close under our previous low, okay, so under this zone, basically, then I believe that the trend is going to stop and we're going to see a reversal and it's going to go down. But again, the trend is your friend, so you want to trade with the trend. So when we zoom out again and go back to our daily. Okay, so my trade now is in, and you see that during this day, it went up very quickly. Okay, let's stay on the 4 hour because it's going to be a bit more obvious. So here's my trade. So I enter this position. I've got a nice reward risk ratio of 2.77. Okay, so almost 3. So which means that I take the risk of gaining 3 or losing 1. So it's a very good reward risk ratio here. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, boom. So that didn't take very long, and that's a beautiful swing trade. And you see that it just works. Then we close above this line again. Okay, so we close here, so we can see that, okay, so we have a trend continuation here. So it might go higher, but the idea was to just take some profit along the way. And then you can basically do that again at the next step, which is going to happen around here maybe. Okay, so you can do it again and then take the next leg up. So this is how you combine double top with different time frames. Okay, a double bottom, sorry, different time frames, and a trend continuation. So yeah, this is just a very simple example on how to trade with using using very simple patterns, the double bottom, and then a candlestick pattern, which is an engulfing candle, which is going to be really your signal to enter the trade. And I go back into I go into a lower time frame to just have it's a sort of zoom in, to be able to zoom in to this zone here and see what's happening, see what the price action is doing. Okay, because if I don't zoom in, then I miss this big candle. Basically, I'm gonna enter only up here if I stay on the daily time frame, and I miss all this price action here.
Yeah.
In that case, it would have been too bad because the next candle is quite decent as well. But in some cases, you want to really make the most of it, and you want to be able to enter that, because to reduce your risk and to have a better chance to have a winning trade, you want to basically close when it arrives in the next choppy area, which could have been a choppy area, which was the previous high. Here it didn't, it just blasted through it. But most of the time, you will have a bit of chop here before continuing.
Great, Nico. So this was a really cool video on chart patterns. Let's go into chart patterns a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's do a part 2 on this, because there's some other really cool ones that we haven't got a chance to discuss in there. So
yes,
definitely stay tuned for advanced chart patterns in your trading cryptocurrency and anything, commodities, foreign exchange, stocks. I mean, stock indices. You name it, you can do this. You can chart your life, basically. If you're in a consolidation phase or a downtrend, don't worry. You can chart your life and see when the reversal will come around, and good fortune will enter into your world.
Definitely, and you can do it on any time frame. Okay, you can be looking at
time frame, even the 5-minute time frame.
Well, the 5-minute time frame is a difficult one, particularly in your life.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. And you guys, just remember, we run a Discord group where we actually can take trades with us and follow along. There's a free membership and a paid membership. The link is in the description below. Nico also offers one-on-one mentorship for traders. If you want to learn how to trade faster, expedite your journey, and get personalized bespoke support, the link to Nico's opportunity for a discovery call is down in the description below. So stay tuned, and if you haven't seen other videos in this a video series that we're doing, you can check out the end screen that will be following in a few seconds to dive in there and start to learn about trading. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.